This is Shay Bynes, founder and chief fire igniter of Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur, and this is the KDE Podcast Live. With a beautifully diverse panel of co-hosts, get ready for powerful and fresh perspectives of what it looks like to be a Kingdom Driven Entrepreneur. Let's go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, everybody. Hope you are doing well. It is I, Latara Venice, and I am here with Alicia, Phil, Michelle, and Brandon. And we are here for another KDE Podcast Live. And boy, am I glad that we are here this week. I am here by accident. I am supposed to be off today, but I am here, and we're going to have a great show. We're going to be talking about some really good stuff today. I know Phil is leading our rapid fire moment today. We have some good stuff from Dory. I listened to it. You guys are going to be able to even, she walks you through a great exercise. I can't wait. She plays her drums a little bit. Totally different. And it's going to be really good. I think we should show up authentically in the way that God tells us to show up as entrepreneurs and business owners and just people in general. Just be you. All right, everybody. So listen, if you're in the audience and you're watching, just say hello unless you're driving. We do not drive in live. Do not type, and don't type and tell me you're driving, because then that's really going to make me go, what? If you're driving, turn your phone over and listen. But anyway, I want to know what has been going on with all of you since we last met. What's going on in your life? How is life going? How is your business going? What's up, Alicia? Mario candidate for mayor. I can't.
Yep, it's coming. Okay, so let's see what's going on. You know what? The most impactful thing that's happening with me that I want to share about today is our pastor has been preaching a series based on the book of Acts about what the church should look like and about what the Acts church looked like. And it has been so good. And I've been like just completely wrecked every Sunday, and wrecked and remade. That's what I like to call it, when God is rebuilding things in your life. So I know that's not necessarily business stuff, but it definitely impacts business. So that's where I'm at now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I can't wait to be your campaign manager. I'm just vying for that. I'm going for campaign manager.
I've been having those conversations. So yeah, you're going to be, it's Voxer meetings for sure are coming soon.
Yeah.
To a theater
I'm quite
near
sure
you.
they are. I just have this whole image of me, but I won't tell y'all what I see. But Bernie Mac did this movie where Chris Rock was the president, and I kind of see myself as the Bernie Mac character. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
I love it. So good.
All right, Michelle.
Since we last talked, I've actually started having some what I call momentum conversations, and I have launched it's launching. I'm still finishing up a YouTube channel with these conversations, and it's really a way or a platform to add a different perspective to how business owners and entrepreneurs experience and position themselves for momentum. So, and I actually was just doing this for like March, just to do something for March. And then I actually started liking it and like really feeling like I was flowing. And I'm like, wait a minute, Lord, what are we doing? Are we doing something? And then I think part of me is like, I made the mistake of asking the question because I got an answer, and it is, yes, we are. So let's go. So I'm very excited about that. And I've even having to re-listen to my own conversations or my conversations with other people to get all the nuggets and the juice from all of the things that are happening in those conversations.
Awesome. I love it. I always look forward to when you talk about momentum. Your video, which was last week, I think we played. Were you last week before last? Whichever week you were good. You were good 2 weeks ago. Okay. You were really good. It was really good. Lots of great nuggets. And so I'm looking forward to more of your segments coming up, because that momentum piece is so key. And the kingdom momentum is what's really key, really understanding how that flows. So that's really good. All right, Mr. Galisi.
Well, I was almost late to the podcast today because of a KDE men's group meeting that we have on the first and third Wednesdays, but Igniters only. So if you're a male and want to join Igniters, that's one of the many benefits of joining the Igniters program. But we always just have such good conversations where I'm finally having to I've got to get off here so I can jump on the podcast. So that was an awesome conversation. And then business-wise, still really intentional with my content. And then I just want to encourage folks out there that are trying to do the same thing and just post what's on their heart with their audience and those that they're called to serve. At the beginning, it might feel like you're not really getting much traction, or it seems like maybe you're not near as efficient, but the more that you practice it and do it, I'm starting to get so much more efficient with even the videos, where I feel like my production quality has gone up, but my time spent per video is actually going down. But again, you can't get to that point if you never start. So just encouragement for maybe someone out there today.
I love that. You can never get there unless you start. That's the thing I tell a lot of the coaches that I work with when they go, well, nobody's listening to me. Huh? I'm like, yes, they are listening. Just keep talking. Keep using your voice, and trust me, it will call the people who need it. I love it. I'll be watching all your stuff, Brandon. I'll be giggling at some of them. I can't watch them real early in the morning because everybody in my house still be asleep, except maybe the dog, but I don't know. So, oh gosh. All right, Phil.
Yeah, so what's going on with me? I would say, I hosted my first potluck for my family. I don't usually do the hosting, right? And the only time that we as a family host, me and Shay, are usually related to business, right? In the Airbnb. But this is the first time I've hosted something in my home. And so it was kind of cool to be able to host something for the family, and we had a good time. Even the old wedding tape came out for some reason, and we watched a couple of minutes of that.
Oh, how sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Y'all baby lucky I wasn't there, because I probably would have been. What was that, like 20? How long ago was that? 20?
You're coming up on 25.
Man, I'd have been ragging on the outfits and everything, probably. So, I'd have been messing with you.
We were dapper, man.
Oh goodness. All right. What's been going on with Latara Venice? Well, personally, just moving and grooving with life, doing what I do, getting ready to prepare for my garden. Got to go get my soil. If you know me, I like my hands in the dirt. I don't like using gloves. I don't know why. I like my hands to feel the soil. Trying to debate how we're going to actually do the garden this year. And I'm actually remodeling my patio, got rid of some stuff and putting some new stuff on. I'm super excited. Got a new grill coming. I'm so excited. About the new grill. I probably would be out there grilling a piece of apple if I can. I love to grill. I get it from my daddy. And business wise, I am partnering with someone on walking people through supernatural sales. I'm super excited about that. That's going to be pretty cool. And moving and grooving with our network. I love the way that the Kingdom Coaches Network is coming along. It's really growing more in not quantity, but quality. And that's really what I want. I really wanted that kind of cohesive community of coaches who are really understanding what it means to do this thing God's way. And they want to keep moving in that vein. So it's been really fun, really a great opportunity for me to learn how to be a different kind of leader, because you have to apply to be in that community. It ain't a Facebook group where you can just jump in. I don't do all of that. You have to apply. And that was because my awesome mentor, Shay Bond, said, You should really vet them. Don't just let anybody in there. So I love the quality of the people that we have in the community. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. Did we get everybody? We got everybody today. Today, I'm all orange today. I should have gave you guys the memo, huh? Let's get loud. Like Jennifer Lopez. Is that her name? That's her song. Let's get loud. You know, Jennifer. Don't act like y'all don't know who J-Lo is.
I said it. It's her song.
I was going like Brandon Lake when you said let's get loud. I was thinking Mike.
Oh my gosh.
I'm super safe, so that's why.
Oh my gosh. Did she say super safe? Oh my goodness.
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
Fun fact, Latara, orange is actually my second favorite color.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. Blue is the favorite, and then orange. So
okay. All right. Well, all right then, you know.
You didn't care, huh?
No, not really, but I'm just kidding. Listen, y'all, this is called fun. That's what we do. You should see us when we're together in person. We've all been in the same vicinity in person together. So that's a whole other. And we haven't been in person in a while, you guys.
A long time.
Like since 2020, right before the pandemic, we were in Vegas at Dr. Tony's. Yes. No, you cannot go to Dr. Tony's house. Don't be asking her, just so y'all know. All right, it is that time of the show where we actually answer some questions. And in the audience, listen, if you have a question that you're like, oh, I wonder if, as we're talking, pop that question in. If I don't get it, if we don't get an answer today, I have a little list and I'll put it on there and we will answer it in another episode. All right, y'all ready for these questions?
I'm ready.
All right.
I think.
This is a good one.
I'm wearing orange too. So I'm sorry.
You know what?
Okay. This is
Let it go, Phil. Let it go. Let it go.
This is a good one. It says, what makes your business unique? What makes your business unique? Who wants to start? I start. Me. I make my business unique. Me, myself, and I, because I show up the way that, you know, I just show up as Latara Venice, you know. And I think what also makes it unique is I offer a safe place. And a lot of people do say they offer safe places, but even in our community, they love the fact that it's a really safe space for you to come and share. I give you opportunity to share. If it's not just business, if you have something going on in life, talk about it. Let's see what that's about. But yeah, that's the main thing is I offer a safe space for you to share, to do what I call bleeding without over bleeding on people, because sometimes you need that space when you are an entrepreneur. And a lot of times when we have these entrepreneurial spaces, we don't give people that opportunity.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go. So for my educational business, what makes it unique, I think, is a couple things. Number one, I have been there, done that, got the tattoo, the belly ring, all the things. And so everything down from a substitute all the way down up to administration and district. And so I've had this perspective of I've seen all the different point of views and advantage points. So that's the one thing. And a lot of people can't say that. The other thing is that I am not afraid to say the things that people are thinking but don't want to say. And so sometimes I'll get the feedback from administrators who are like, I wanted to say that, but I couldn't. And then from teachers, it's like, I was thinking that, but I didn't know if anyone else thought like me. So I think that's what makes me unique is I'm willing to say the things and get all in it and talk about it because it's real.
That's good. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Who's next?
So I agree with you where it's me. It's being authentic. And I think for every person in the audience and listening today, that's absolutely one of those things. Every single one of us is unique. And then in my financial planning business, another thing is the mindset where it's not all just about money, which you would think, oh, financial planning, that's all about money and investments. Yes, that's an important piece, but even the mindset behind it, where how do you align your use of capital with what's most important to you and make decisions that are aligned with yours and your family's values and not someone else's down the street. So just kind of that freedom and that grace when it comes to your finances versus the prevalent shame and guilt that's often taught out there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, I guess it's time for the next question, unless somebody else has an answer, because everybody don't have to answer every question. So, um, the next question is, I want to answer Joy real quick. Joy, we weren't all together at KDE Live. Really, out of the team here, like we were all team KDE at that time, right? And it was so KDE Live in Nashville, really, it was just like feeling myself out of all of us who are here. Nobody else made it to Nashville. Brandon wasn't there, Alicia wasn't there, or Michelle. So it's been a while since we've all been in the same space. All right, the next question. Someone said, right now, I'm not making very much money in my business. How do I know when it's time to give up my business? How do I know when
I'll
it's
jump
time?
in. I would say, are you growing in your business? Are you growing in the things that you know? Are you making progress, right? If you're doing it in partnership with God, is He still speaking to you about bigger things than yourself in your business? Like, I feel like all those are signposts that you're still in the right place. Because when you hit the point when you've gone far enough, He wants you to do something else. He'll begin to speak to you about something else. Also, are you experiencing discomfort in your business? Like, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be here. I'm not talking about from the pressure of not making the money, but like just in your mind, you just feel like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Right. So that would be my answer.
That's good. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that. Phil's got really great points there. And I think that it's really important to add too with that, if you're feeling pressure, pressure that doesn't ever go away. Because there is a moment, I believe, for every entrepreneur when you're having a rough time or a rough day and you're like, oh, am I really going to do this for the rest of my life? I think that's normal. What isn't normal if that's constant and you're not feeling joy in what you're doing. But I will say I spent probably easily the last 3 years of owning the Laughing Place Bakery, the bakery that Jesus built, constantly asking God, like, is it time to close? Is this supposed to be over? And I will say, first of all, when it was time, I had complete and utter peace, like shocking peace that passes understanding. Like I couldn't even cry for a few days, even though it was a heartbreaking decision for me. But and it wasn't, I couldn't cry because I was dry-eyed. I couldn't cry because I didn't feel the need to. Like it just was utter peace. So I knew that it was time. But the other thing is I think it's important when you're not making money, because your question was specifically about if I'm not making money on my business, is to ask God about, really be close with Holy Spirit about what you're supposed to be gaining in your business. We absolutely do need to be earning money in our businesses in order to be able to be, stewards and storehouses for the kingdom. But at the same time, sometimes his currency is different than ours. So I would often ask him, okay, Lord, am I still being effective here? And every time he'd send in testimony after testimony after testimony of people who were being blessed by what we were providing to the community. So I think it's really important to ask God what currency you're operating in. And, I know that's a hard answer, that sometimes we're not supposed to be, or not all of us are called to be rolling in the dough. Oh, that's funny because I was rolling dough, but that was not an intentional. But I think that's important to know, is just to ask God what his currency for your business is.
Yeah, that's good. I wanted to share a little bit and then I'll give the floor to Brandon or Michelle, because I thought that's about your fruit. Please pay attention to your fruit. Is your fruit producing what people need, right? And Alicia mentioned something too, and because my answer is really brief, when she said not everybody's meant to be rolling in the dough. And that has been a thorn in my side, because when you become an entrepreneur, you see all of these, ads about, hey, become a 7, 8, now 9-figure earner, right? I don't know if you guys have seen that going around. Become a 7, 8, or 9-figure earner. If you're a 6-figure earner, you're poor. What? We have to be careful with, and it can make you think that God is like not blessing your business when it's really about the fruit, the testimonies I get from people, the moment when I want to quit and someone says, I get an email saying thank you for helping me with this, or look at this, what are they doing, how are they expanding out? Someone once told me, well, if you're not doing better than me, if you're not making more money than me in business, then I'm not quite sure you're the mentor for me. And I'm like, yeah, but that's backwards. That's not what this is about. You might be meant to be a multimillionaire. I might not be meant to be that person, or vice versa. So you really can't look at the money. You really do have to look at the economy of heaven is so different. So different. Yes, you're supposed to make money to take care of the expenses and the different things like that. But don't get stuck on what the dollar figure is because you're not making a lot of money in your business. Right?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Michelle, Brandon?
I would just add, I mean, everybody had such great points. Don't allow, like everyone said, the money piece to be the indicator of if you're doing well. As kingdom-minded entrepreneurs, for me, like the answer when the question was asked, it was simply when God says so, right? So that's how you know when it's time to get off your business, when God says so. So sometimes he will allow seasons of you not making money to either educate you, to maybe bring you closer to him, to point you to other people. Like there's so many things going on when we are kingdom minded and when God is in our business, so to speak. We're thinking it's one thing, it's about the money. He's like, no, I'm trying to change your heart. I'm trying to change your mindset. I'm trying to help you collaborate with people. Like there's so much happening around that. But at the end of the day, like Alicia said, and there's nothing wrong with asking the question, Lord, is it time? There's nothing wrong with that. What I said one day? I said, God, how do I make money today? That's my question. How do I make some money today? And I sat and I listened, and the answer was not exactly what I was looking for, but then I had to learn to align myself to it. So I would just say I had to answer it when God says so. And so that's why intimacy is so important.
Yeah, that's good. You got anything to add, Brandon?
I was just gonna say too, if you're comparing yourself on social media to all the 7, 8, 9, and 15-figure entrepreneur, it is such a small subset of the population that is even making over 6 figures when you look at it. Which again, we're not that we're trying to compare, but I'm just trying to help someone break free from that, because oftentimes what you're seeing on social media with these 7-figure entrepreneurs, there's a lot more behind the scenes that may not be as accurate as you're seeing it. So give yourself a little bit of grace from there too.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Don't get stuck in that. Just like really don't get stuck there. That's like one of the most dangerous spaces you could be in when you are kingdom. And I can tell you just from my own life, especially over the last year, that God will provide and God protects and takes care of you when you think, right? That you can do like I did. I went and I applied for all these jobs. I was like, well, God, I'm just going to get a job because surely you must be telling me to do something different. And I kept getting, you're overqualified. We're not, we're done. We fill the position, but mostly I got, you're overqualified. There was no place for me. Like no place for me. And God kept saying, do you hear me now? I was like, okay, God, you appeased me for a while. I did it. Like for real. I think he really appeased. Like he was like, just gonna let her do it. Right? You can try different things to see too. You can test it. God's gonna he's not the type of God to go, I told you don't do that. Go test it. Go see. I tried. I tell y'all, I applied for 4 different jobs at the end of last year. I was like, I think I'm done. I think God is telling me to go really small, like really part-time with my business and go get some different. Didn't happen. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah. I can do a whole testimony of when God won't let you get a job.
That should be a show. When God won't let you get a job. Oh God, that's good. That was good. The next question is which is it's kind of good. What keeps you motivated in your business? What keeps you motivated? Since I'm on the screen, I'll start. I think what keeps me motivated is the people, knowing that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm moving in my assignment. And I see the change in people. When I don't see the change in people, I'll be like, God, for real, we doing this? Do you see they not change? But when I see the change or I hear it from them, it lets me know that I'm really moving in that. And I think the other thing that motivates me is, I'll be honest, I got a roof over my head. That's another that I have to take care of. So that's another thing that motivates me. I'm just gonna keep it real. Okay. Anybody else?
What motivates me is the call. So, I mean, I got a real distinct, clear, intentional call from God to do entrepreneurship. So when the going gets, rough, when the storm is hitting me, sometimes when the bank account's looking low, or when people's comments on my YouTube channel be getting on my nerves, I go back to the call. Lord, I know you called me for this. And sometimes I'll say, has the call been withdrawn? Have you changed the call? Where are we going? But that's what motivates me is the call of, I know you called me for such a time as this to do this thing. So therefore, I will continue to press on. The other stuff is just gravy, with people's lives being changed and making the impact and seeing the fruit of it. That is beautiful. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, it's like me and the Lord in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's good.
I would say for myself, I keep seeing God's presence in the things that I'm doing. Like he keeps showing up in showing me that he's involved, right? And so whenever I see evidence of his presence there, it motivates me to keep going, right? Because I know that he has a heart for the people, whether it's their spiritually, or even in my massage practice, doing massage, he has a heart that people don't be in pain, right? And so he's given me the ability to address that. And he shows up, right? And so that's what keeps me motivated.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Anybody else want to share? You don't have to, because we can move on to the next segment. We got another one. All right. Well, it is that time when we are going to be hearing from one of our specialists and one of our hosts. And today it actually is Dory, and I'm excited because I watched it. I was over there, moving to the beat because I just do that naturally anyway. I hear music and my feet start moving. So we're going to hear from her now. I want you guys to enjoy this. Make sure you really pay attention to the tips that she's given. It's some good stuff to help you with finding some emotional balance and some healing as you do this thing called business.
Have things shifted for you? Or maybe something came at you from left field and totally threw you for a loop? Hey, Dory here with Next Stage Drumming, otherwise known as Queen of the Bounce Back. I have reinvented myself more times than I can count. Yes, folks, I've not only had 4 businesses, but I've done lots of different things within those businesses. So it pays to be flexible. That would be tip number 1. Even during times where it looked like there was no hope at all. I figured I had a choice. I could either give up or I could reach up and ask God for help. I was trying to figure out everything on my own and getting very stressed out as a result. Just going round and round in circles. I call it like static in the attic. My brain was on overdrive all the time. So I'd like to do a quick stress relief exercise for you because, hey, I'm in my drum room and I'm going to be sharing a lot of drumming metaphors because in drumming, as in life, sometimes you need to shift your beat. Okay, so take some deep breaths. You can drum on your legs, your desk, a book, whatever you have handy. I'm going to do an easy 3-beat pattern on my djembe drum here. So I'll start by warming it up a bit and getting some nice ocean sounds. There we go. Okay, get ready for 3 beats. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. know that this too shall pass. God's got this. You can rise up and rock. You can do all things through Christ. 3, 2, ready, and stop. Yes, I do affirmations and Bible verses when I drum with people. But you have to just get in the zone when you're feeling stressed out. I always say, take a breath, take a break, and tap out some beats. Just release whatever is stressing you out, for just even if it's just a little bit. If you don't like drumming, do something creative, go for a walk. Just give your brain a rest, because chances are the left side of your brain, the analytical side, is on overdrive trying to figure things out, and you need to activate that right side. The right brain loves to release creativity, and it's also something that's can be very, very fun. Creative types, you know what I mean? It's a party in our head all day long. So be open to possibilities, because buckle up. You might need to do some things a little bit differently in this season. I keep hearing downloads from the Holy Spirit saying, get ready, get ready. There's going to be a shift coming. Know that you are not the only one that's going through this. I'm hearing this from so many different people, where either their businesses have dried up, they lost their jobs, or what they were doing just isn't working anymore. It was working before, but it's not working now. And they're trying to release different things, and they're just not taking off. So what do? You regroup, you reset, and you change your beat. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit. Get ready. I'm going to do, I don't know, let's see, maybe 5 beats. There you go. 3, 2, ready, and stop. Now, those 2 beats I just did tend to be the go-to beats for a lot of people, and that's another point. They tend to stick with one thing because this is where they live and they're really comfortable, and they don't like to go outside of their comfort zone and challenge themselves. You might need to do that. You might need to learn something new, acquire a new skill, or just do things a bit differently. I play in a very creative church band, and they improvise a lot. So even the songs that I might know really well, they might switch it up. So it pays to be ready and get a little creative. Ready? Here we go. Because, you just can't stay where you are. If it's not working, know that it's okay. It's okay to let things go. It's okay to ask for help. Your season might change, so you might need to change your beat and change your song. It's all going to be okay. You can rise up.
Listen, y'all, that was good. I told y'all it was gonna be good, didn't I? I told y'all it was gonna be good. What you think about that? I loved it. So let me get the floor to you guys.
I'll jump in. That part at the end as well spoke to me. Like, when you're seasoned, you might have to change your beat. Change. What was the other part she said? Change your beat.
She said regroup, reset, change your beat.
That's it. Regroup, reset, change your beat. And I think that's what we need to always be doing. It's almost like we're refiring in our businesses. When things have worked for a while and then they stop working, we have to begin to assess and be like, okay, what little change do I need to make? Right. And then that could be the catalyst that resparks all the things. So
yeah. That's good.
I know for me, when she was even talking about your analytical brain comes in, I'm very analytical. And so when there's challenges, that's when it tends to show up and start, going real quick and everything. And I have actually learned to take a break, like literally get in the car and drive somewhere and get even out of that environment and take a break. And so knowing that, you're in a season where you're learning and you're growing, and the growth is not always cute and pretty, but the growth is a little painful and very uncomfortable and not according to your plan. And so that I love how she then says, okay, then not only change your beat, change your song. And so there's times where you're singing a certain song, and then now you have to sing a different song to get you through, or to move you forward, to encourage you, to motivate you. So I definitely love that.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Yeah.
I think everything just tied into her what she shared at the beginning of being flexible, right? Where we might need to change our beat, we might need to acknowledge the season that we're in, potentially do things differently. And it's such simple advice, but sometimes so challenging to execute, because we want, as entrepreneurs, oftentimes just to control all of the things and just head down and just grind harder. I mean, not kingdom driven entrepreneurs, hopefully, but that's what the world teaches you. Like, oh, something's not working, just try harder, work more hours. So that advice of being flexible, holding our plans loosely. And even if we feel, hey, God is leading us down this direction, that doesn't mean that that's for perpetuity necessarily. So we still have to continuously check in. Michelle said it earlier, intimacy is everything. So if we're not constantly checking in with God and being able to hold our plans and his plans loosely, then things are going to be more challenging. So that be flexible piece, I think, really, really powerful.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I loved how she described herself as the queen of the bounce back. I've heard her say that before, but it was just um but I just, I think that something that really stands out to me when she said that, I just had this thought that, God is constantly rearranging us, and some people he keeps in place for a really long time, and other people he rearranges into a different position. And I've even in other times when I've heard Dory talk, what really stands out to me is nothing that went before was in vain. He
Mhm.
uses those things for your bounce back moment, and I really appreciated, especially before she went into the teaching and deeper today, that just that sense of encouragement, that there are a lot of people who are experiencing these moments where things are shifting and changing, but you just be prepared for the bounce back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like Phil, that regroup, reset, and change your beat, it really says something to me. And knowing that flexibility you all are talking about too is really important, because one of the things that God had me really shift into this year was having those one-on-one conversations with people, knowing that, okay, I know there, how okay, well, for me, this is how it goes with me. God shows me a person and God goes, you're going to work with them. And typically I sit back and I wait. That's what he tells me to do. Just hold on, they're coming. But now it's like he has me going and having conversations with them. And within the conversation, I'll go, well, that this is what I do, and this is offered over here at this rate. And they have no idea, because they've been in one flow of my service map and not another, and then just really helping them to get over the fears of even working with an advisor and a strategist, and knowing that, there's nothing that you have to offer that God doesn't deem worthy. What he's given you, need some strategy around it. And just having those one-on-one conversations when they might not talk in a group setting has been really good. And then creating a group setting where coaches can come for free, and entrepreneurs too. And we just have these conversations, and it brings more people into that funnel now. And I was like, wow, okay, God, I see this. So it totally shifted from what I have been doing, to where I am just more in the vein of, let me just have a conversation with the people. Totally shifted. So that was good. So good. Dory, thank you. That was so good. And I just want to say that one of the things that I really love, and we've been talking about this today, about what Dory does, is that the way that she shows up is as Dory. Like, this is where I am anointed. This is where God has given me the authority. And so this is where I'm going to move in. So I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I saw Alicia moving to the beat too. So, she was over there moving to the beat with her eyes closed. So thank you so much, Dory, for that. That was such a great segment and exercise, because breathing does, let me tell y'all, breathing is key. Y'all learn how to take some deep breaths throughout the daytime. Just learn how. Take some breaths. That's it. That's all. Yeah. They make a difference. Like, for real. We breathe naturally, but to take those deep breaths, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, it is so phenomenal. Number one, it lowers your blood pressure instantly. I hope y'all know that. So instantly lowers your blood pressure. So take some breaths. Take some breaths. Good stuff. All right. So it's that time when, Phil is about to come off up in here with this rapid fire. And it's no telling, how it's going to go. Um, it's been good. It's been good the way we've been doing it. And I love it because you get to hear different perspectives on what our thoughts are on the rapid fire, like Alicia and I. And then here comes Phil saying, well, this is what it be. And so,
It bees whatever the Lord is saying to you.
That's right. That's right. All right. All right, Phil, you got the floor.
All right, cool beans. So, along those lines, hear the voice behind the voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might mean something to me, but God is speaking something completely different to you. So, anyways, fashion for a purpose. The spirit is down payment, right? And so, as I was going through this, it was very interesting. I'm like, Lord, what do you want me to read? And He gave me this scripture here in Second Corinthians, and then He went a completely different direction than I thought He was going to go with this scripture, right? So we'll just start with the foundational scripture, and then we'll go from there. Meanwhile, we groan, longing to be clothed instead with our heavenly dwelling, because when we are clothed, we will not be found naked, right? And so, you know, God has given us the Spirit as a down payment, right? We hear, I believe it's in Revelations where Jesus talks about, eventually we'll have and maybe it wasn't Jesus, but we'll have a new body, right? We're going to have a new body. The old perishing body will be done away with, right? And what the Lord was showing me is like this Spirit that He's given us the Holy Spirit. It's a down payment for that time, right? We're learning how to walk with the Spirit here, and eventually we'll be dwelling with the Spirit all the time. We're dwelling with God all the time, right? But this is the down payment. This is the starting point. So the Spirit is the proof that our mortality will one day be swallowed. The Spirit dwells with us. One day we will dwell with God in our glorified body. We have the down payment, so we live for Him, right? So what does it mean for us to live for Him? He's redeemed us. And because He's redeemed us, our purpose and our job also as ambassadors is to go around redeeming other people, right? We're redeeming all of creation on His behalf because He left us here to do that, because that was His mission, right? As the body of Christ, we are His ambassadors. We are His hands, His feet. We are His toes, His ankles, whatever we need to be to reach the world around us, right? And so our mission is to go around and redeem creation, right? This means we look at everyone and everything through the eyes of the Spirit, right? We know no man after the flesh. But oftentimes in business, if we're not kingdom, we begin to look at people through the lens of standard business practices when we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to know no man after the flesh. That also means to know no business after the flesh. No circumstance after the flesh, right? We're supposed to be living our life in such a way that we're able to redeem whatever Christ is that we can redeem, right? So that takes us being able to look at things from a different perspective, right? But what do you guys think of that so far before I go any further?
The thing that stuck out to me is how if we are not, I don't know if you said it this way, but I would say it this way. If we're not careful, we'll start to see our clients or the people we work with as maybe transactional or as, just a means to an end for our business. And because of our calling to redeem others, right? I think that what touched me, and I've seen this happen, I've gone through seasons, I'm gonna be real, I've gone through seasons where, yes, I need some clients to fill my business and pay the bills. And then as I continued to walk out this journey, I began to say, okay, no, I see you and I see where you are. And I know there's a better way. And I know, how you can come back to God or how you can come back to the way of truth and how it'll set you free. And so I began to see my clientele or the people I work with as how can I serve? Like, how can I serve them? And how can I point a light back to who he is and who he can be for other people. So when we talk about how spirit is down payment, it's just, I call it what they call the word, like a shot, just a little bit of taste of how great being in him, with him, through him, how that will be as we continue on in this journey.
Anybody else have something? I guess not, Phil.
Oh, just okay. All right. So let's dive a little deeper, right, into this no man, circumstance, or business after the flesh, right? As ambassadors, we are to bring the culture of our kingdom to the world around us, right? And so we're starting to get towards the direction of what's the purpose of this conversation in a business context, right? So as we are looking from a heavenly perspective, as we're seeing no man by the flesh, we're able to bring light to dark situations, right? We don't stay with the ideal of just because it's dark here, it's always going to be dark here. Let's bring it to a business context. Just because people are working in sex trafficking business doesn't mean that that always has to be the case, right? Some people have found themselves into something, found themselves involved in something, and they don't even know how they got there, right? But if we're showing up as the disciples of Christ, right, as someone that has learned the ways of the kingdom, as someone that is looking to disciple the world around us, we can have that one encounter with someone that will pull them out of an industry that was making them a lot of money. It was very lucrative for them, right? Just by us showing up in our business, in our marketplace, in a grocery store, like any place that we show up, we should be showing up as God's ambassador, bringing a light that can redeem the darkness, right? What do y'all think about that?
I think that's so true for so many of our industries that we're in. The world has a prevalent way of doing things, and again, like I said, in any of our industries, whether that's manipulation or it's different mindsets around money, or again, whatever the case may be. So I think that's part of our calls as kingdom-driven entrepreneurs is to be fire starters, right? Starting these fires in our industries and being that light of, hey, we don't have to use manipulation in our marketing. We don't have to think of people as transactions instead of just genuinely serving them and hoping for transformation, knowing that we'll also be compensated by genuinely loving on people at the same time. So just how do we be the light? How do we be different through all of the processes that we are? So again, I think that's one of the things that we are called to as kingdom driven entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's good. One of the words that God has given me in this season, a lot of people use disruptors, but one of the things that God has shown me is that we are called to infiltrate, infiltrate dark spaces with our light, to bring with His light, to bring glory to these different realms that He's really wanting to have dominion over, right? And so I think if we focus there in that vein, like I'm called to yes, disrupt, but I'm infiltrating systems and industries that really need the light of God. They really need the kingdom. And then learning how to go in there in the right way, not Bible thumping, not talking about the Lord is coming and all. That's not how you do it, right? That's not, every space is not for that. There may be some spaces that are for that, but every space is not for that, especially in the business world. So God, how do I do this? So that I'm representing you, but I'm also speaking to the people in a way that honors them, right? So that, because if we're infiltrating and we are disruptors, it doesn't mean that we're going in there and just talking to people all willy-nilly, any kind of way, all out the side of our neck or whatever. But we're going in there and we're representing, and the Spirit is with us. Holy Spirit, take over this moment so that I am representing the light that you are shining into this area.
Yeah, this is a really close place for me because as someone who I feel like is going into oftentimes a dark place, and it's like I even hate to call schools and classrooms a dark place, but well, the fruit is buried. Okay, I'll say that. And so therefore, it's challenging because as I'm infiltrating, right, as I'm going in and I'm sharing concepts and I'm sharing frameworks, I'm sharing systems that are truth-based, kingdom-based, um, you know, sometimes I face this opposition of this, it don't work, this can't work, this doesn't work, this is not effective, whatever. And then when I see the reason behind it, it's about a dulled mindset. It's about, I forgot how Phil said it, but like when we see a dark place, saying, okay, we can bring light to this, we can share the freedom of Christ in this, and not in the way like Latara was talking about, where, okay, everybody, it's all, I'm going to help you manage your class. It's all about Jesus, right? I can't come in that way, because, first of all, that's not my total clientele. And people are like, even the Christian, what does that mean? What does that have to do with little Johnny falling on the floor and rolling around, right? And so it's about the understanding that because we are carriers of the light, and every experience and every skill and every talent that he has placed within us is covered by his goodness, is covered by his grace, is covered by oftentimes the assignment he's given us. That's how we're able to stand and walk in the face of celebration, but also in the face of people just giving the hate, I call it, in a sense, and just say, okay, you know what? Regardless, I'm going to stand for Christ. I'm going to stand the truth, and I'm going to present as he has called me to present. I'm going to show up like he's called me to show up. And it may not make sense to everybody, but for those who need it, those who are asking, those who are seeking, we're right here. We're right here.
That's good.
Okay, I guess I'll jump back in here. So the thing that the thing that like really stuck out as I was going over my notes of what I was going to share is this sentence here. The light has come to reset the darkness so that all of creation can be reconciled, right? And so our job as Christ disciples, as his ambassador, is basically to do a factory reset, right? We're resetting the world to his original intent, right? So the only reason it's dark is because people have turned away from light, or the light has walked out, right? There was a time when the church said that come out and be separate, right? And so we're partially responsible for that. But as we show back up in our kingdom spaces full of the light of the kingdom, what we're doing is we're helping the darkness be reset, right? Back to their factory setting, right? Shining the light wherever it needs to go.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, I'll add some, but I was just in agreement about the whole factory reset and how, in our, like even Brandon, when he talks about the finances, like, I'm not naming names, but, he's coming against some really powerful messaging, that the world has embraced to say, wait a minute. What does this have? What does God's word have to say about this? What are his principles? What are kingdom principles related to finances? Even with Alicia, with the whole thing of community, how do I build authentic community? Not just community that will keep people paying money to support our business, but how can they have authentic community that goes beyond that setting that she's in and goes into families and to communities and to those kind of things. And so, and even with Latara talking about, let's talk about how this is a soul care issue, and then how there's some things that there's some trends we've been following that is not of God, and that we need to come back to God's original purpose, God's original plan, God's original assignment for us as we communicate. So all of these things, I mean, Phil, you're talking my language in a different way, but you're talking my language right now. Just saying.
That's awesome. I don't want to hog the conversation. Anyone else has something to say?
Well, I've got so many things like swirling in my head around this. I'm not even sure how to make sense of everything that's going on, but I just agree with what everybody's saying and our responsibility. And I think we're in a season and a time right now in the marketplace where it is absolutely dire for us to represent the love of Jesus Christ and to be the light, because Satan is working overtime, like falsifying the light, like doing the counterfeit. And so like even just down to like love being perverted into into this thing where I love you as long as you think exactly what I think. But that's actually not kingdom love. Kingdom love is I love you. That's it. Period. The end. I love you. And I want the best for you. And I think about too, like the ability we have is, if we are representing the love of Jesus Christ and through the power of the Holy Spirit to people in the marketplace, just the ability of transform, being willing to participate in the transformation of one person's life, what that does, like exponentially once that person walks out. It's an easy example of that is, and no, I am not saying this about a specific person because I wouldn't do that, but say I had someone coming into the bakery or their coffee shop every day, and this is a person who is quote unquote an undesirable person in our society or in our community, but yet every day I get to love on that person and show them that they have value that is greater. I mean, just with a cup of coffee, I can show somebody that they have value that is greater than what the world is saying. And then all of a sudden that person starts operating in confidence and boldness in the gifts and the treasures that God has given them. Like, it's so exponential what we can do with just seeing people through the lens of Holy Spirit. So I don't know, like this whole subject is so powerful for me.
That's
You
good.
know, like the word says, go into the world and make disciples. That's the Great Commission, right? That's what we're supposed to do. Well, we spend way more time in our jobs and our businesses than we ever do in church, right? And so we're supposed to be every place our feet treads, creating disciples, right? Making disciples. But I think sometimes we miss what that looks like because we don't think about the actual definition. So I went and looked up the definition of disciple. A disciple is a student or one who follows a teaching, right? And so we should be modeling the ways of the kingdom in the marketplace in such a way that the world around us sees the attractiveness of the kingdom and they become discipled by the practices and the ways of the kingdom, right? We never have to open our Bible and say, well, John 1:15 says this. No, if we are modeling what it looks like to be a disciple, they will learn the ways and they will be taught something and they will begin to follow those things that they're taught, right? And so we have a responsibility as business owners. This is a business context, right? Since we spend so much time in our workplace, we should be going out and making disciples, right? The follow-up is baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy. Like, we'll get to that. Just go out and make disciples. Teach the basic term of disciple. A disciple is a student or one who follows a teaching. If you're teaching them how to do stuff and they're seeing results from the way that you're doing it, and it was a kingdom approach, you're discipling them. And that's it. That's all I got.
That was all so good. I love that. I love that very end too. If you go out and you set the example, right? I love that. I talked about this before. Hopefully, y'all don't hear the water running in the background. Um, it's my beautiful mother. Oh. I've talked about this before and I'll say it again and again. I learned the most valuable lesson when I went to school for evangelism. Yes, but do not call me evangelist Bussy. Do not. Okay. I have been an evangelist for 30 years. Y'all didn't know that, huh? And one of the greatest lessons I learned was from Dr. Gregory Tyler when he said the best way for you to share and spread the light is to simply meet people where they are. If you go and you visit someone and you see they love plants, go buy them a plant. If you know they love to write, go buy them a journal and a pen. Find a way to communicate with them that matches where they are. Don't try to get them to come to where you think they should be. That's not shedding the light. That's not sharing the light. That's actually making it darker because you're trying to get them to elevate to where you think you are, but you probably got some more growing to do too. Okay, so meet people where they're at. This was so good, so yummy, and I just love it. And know that in that vein, the Spirit is always with you. He has deposited Himself in you for you to be able to effectively bring the light into the darkest places. Right? That's what we're there for. That's it. This was good, y'all. This was good. Y'all so cool. I think y'all so cool. I think y'all so cool. So listen, next week I will not I have an appointment, so I will not be here. We will have a guest host. Most likely it will be Jada. If not, I will have to walk one of these hosts through the back end so they can know how to run it. So you won't see me next week, right? But you'll see some of the other hosts here next week, and we will be here for another episode. We want to thank you guys so much for joining us this week. And I just want to shout out KB Michelle Green. It was actually her business school that I spoke at a couple of weeks ago. So y'all say, hey, Michelle, really, really good people, really good people. So I want to thank you guys again for joining us this week. Listen, y'all, we be going over time now because these segments be so yummy. I love that. We're not sitting up here looking, like waiting on something to come to our mind out of the air. It just flow. I love it. I love it. So we want to thank you guys so much again for being here with us this week. Listen, tell somebody we're here. Share this podcast out, this episode right here, and make sure that you let people know that KDE Podcast Live is here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you all next week.